wanted to come back on, and as mentioned in my last video, I believe I told you I would give you a quick DIY holiday tree ornament project that you all can do. Something real fun, really quick, that you'll be able to do by yourself, or if you have children or grandchildren, something fun that they will be able to do as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start off by showing you what our supplies are, and then we'll talk through the steps that we need to make our ornament for our Christmas tree. Alrighty, so I think I got most of the junk out of the way that we don't need. So I'm going to start off by showing the tools that we're going to be using today. So I have my Christmas ornament. It's just a clear plastic ornament. I got a six pack of these from Michael's. I typically use the plastic ornament just because I still have elementary age children and I don't want anything breaking as we put things on the tree, or as the tree falls. I don't want the ornaments to fall and break, so I always use plastic ornaments, but you can do the same thing with glass ornaments as well. We're going to have a glitter. So I have a assortment of glitter. I chose gold today because I'm going to do a red, green, and gold theme with our project today. And then we also have some beads. So I have a small bead mix right here that I'm going to use to create some dangles for our ornament. And then this is just the larger mix of beads that I got this from. I just chose a couple to take out of the bag just to get started and show you guys what we're going to be working with today. I also have some chain, a small piece of chain, and we may need to cut this a little bit later. I'm going to see when we put it around our ornament once we fill it. And then I also have a lobster clasp to secure our chain, and then I also have a couple of charms that I'm going to use at the end of our chain to hang off the bottom of our ornament. So I have a nice little Christmas tree here and a snowflake. I also have a cup, which you will see what we'll do with that later is to hold the extra liquid that we have to put into our ornament to keep the glitter to stay in the ornament. And then I have a couple of tools. I have a round nose plier, and I also have a flat nose plier that we're going to need to help shape our dangles with our head pins. And then most importantly, in order to get the glitter to stick inside our ornament, I have polyacrylic protective finish, and this is what I'm going to use inside the ornament. I've tried Mod Podge, and I've also tried a Martha Stewart glitter sealant, and those did not work out very well. They were a little bit too thick to be able to coat the ornament the way that it should be on the inside for the glitter. So I just grabbed the polyacrylic, and I got this from my local hardware store. I want to say I either got it from Lowe's or Home Depot. You can pick up a small container of this, and I've actually had this for maybe a year or two now, because I've done ornaments multiple times as gifts for the family or even gifts for my neighbor. So we'll go ahead and get started now that we've gotten our tools together. All right, so the first thing we're going to want to do is take our ornament, and we're going to pop the top piece off of our ornament. And it's just the spring that holds it in, so it's easy to just pull and pop off. And then what I'm going to do, just so I don't make too much of a mess, is I'm going to set my ornament in this cup while I get my polyacrylics together. So I'm going to open it up, and this is what it looks like on the inside. It's just like a white, milky looking substance that you can use and you can pour. For me, I don't particularly care to pour it because it may make a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a funnel and put it inside of my ornament, and then I'm just going to use a plastic spoon and spoon some into the funnel. And it's okay if it gets inside of the cup. You can always wipe that off. So I'm going to do 2 spoonfuls right this minute to see if that's enough to coat our ornament. Last year when I did this, I used a more ball shaped ornament instead of kind of like this flat circular ornament, so I'm not sure how much polyacrylic I'm going to need. So I'm going to do 2.5 spoons. And then I'm going to sit this to the side. And I'm going to pop the top back on here. I'm not going to close it all the way, but just pop the top on enough to cover it. And then what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to use glitter, I'm going to take my glitter top off. So I'm just taking the top off. And I'm using the top to kind of hold on to the top of my ornament while I move the polyacrylic around. And so I'm just shaking it around. Make sure I'm coating the entire ornament. And we used a little bit too much, so what I'm going to end up doing is actually pouring this back into the container to reuse it again. But I don't want to pour too much out because I want to make sure we get enough in the neck of the ornament as well. So I'm just shifting it around. Swish, swish, swish. I'm just swishing it around. See how now that clear has a white coating to it? And that's the polyacrylic coating the inside of the ornament. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And I'm going to take my extra, you can see sitting at the bottom. I'm just going to pour it back into my container. And let it drip just a little bit. All right. Then I'm going to bring my ornament back over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a different funnel. Not the one that had the polyacrylic, because we'll need to rinse that out and use it later. But I'm going to take a different funnel, and this is what I'm going to use to tap my glitter inside of the ornament. Tap my glitter in. And I'm going to stop right there. We're going to do some coating, and then we're going to see how much we have left over. So I'm going to just swish it around. And it looks like we probably have a little bit too much of the polyacrylic left. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to sit this upside down for a little while, let more of the polyacrylic drip out, and then go back and put some more glitter in so we have a better coating. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this upside down in my cup and let that drip out a little bit more. And then we'll come back and put some glitter in there. Put some more glitter in there. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to kind of drip out a little bit, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just hook our lobster clasp onto our chain. So I have myself a jump ring and my flat nose pliers. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to take the end of my chain and put my jump ring on and my lobster clasp on. And go ahead and close that up. And then let me check on my draining of the polyacrylic so you see how much came out in the cup. That's a little bit too much because the glitter is not going to stay if you have that much liquid in there. So it looks like we might be okay, since now it's only just dripping a little. So let's try again with putting our glitter on the inside of the cup. So I'm going to get my funnel and stick my little mini funnel in here. And you can find these things either on Amazon or on, I'm not sure if they have it at Michael's. I believe I got a pack of these from Amazon. So I'm going to stick my glitter in. And then I'm going to take my funnel out. I'm going to grab my top to my glitter. And again, I'm going to move it around the inside of my ornament. Now you can see how it's sticking a little bit better than it did the last time. So let's look at the other side. Now see how we're getting our color in? Now that we took a lot of the excess liquid out. And we're going to need to add some more glitter into here. So I'm just shake it up, move it around. And you can see it'll start coating our ornament. And I think it's about time to add a little bit more. So again, just shake, shake, shake. Get our funnel again. Add a little more glitter. And it's okay if you don't get the neck of the ornament, because remember our top piece is going to go back on at some point as well. So I'm going to get me some more glitter. And that settled to the bottom. So I'm going to take my funnel out again. And then I'm just going to take my ornament and I'm going to shake, shake, shake the glitter around to try to get it to coat all the way around. And you can kind of look around and see the spots where it's not sticking yet. And you're not going to be able to put any more polyacrylic in, because what's going to happen is it's going to make it too liquidy and the glitter will slide out. So just kind of move it around, take your time and shake it around. Look at your areas where you're missing some coverage. You do a full shake to kind of get it to the top. And now look, our whole ornament now is covered with our golden colored glitter. All right, so I'm just going to shake it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to turn it upside down one more time to get any excess glitter out. And then also to give it a minute to try to dry just a little tiny bit. And if you don't want to waste glitter, you can always do this over a dry container or over another container where you're able to get your glitter back into whatever vessel it came out of. So I'm just going to sit this in here for a minute and put it to the side while we work on our dangles. All right, so let me close up my glitter so I don't accidentally knock it over, because we know how difficult glitter can be to clean up. You think it's gone and you come back 2 weeks later and you still see glitter. So we don't want to do that. All right, so I am going to take a couple of my decorations, or a couple of my beads, out of the container and start to string them on some head pins so I can start making my dangles. I'm going to take some green ones and take some red ones, and we'll start right there, and then we'll go back and fill in. So I'm just going to take my head pin and stick it through my bead. I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and I'm going to bend it over. You can bend it towards you, you can bend it away from you. Either way should work. I usually always bend it away from me. Then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and put it underneath that bend. I'm going to pull the wire towards me, bend it down, and see how it looks. And then I'm going to flip it over so that now it's facing horizontally. And I'm going to bend one more time, but I'm not going to loop it all the way around because I need to get it on my chain before I can do the wire wrap around to secure it. So we're just going to do that with each one of our beads for the moment that we want to put on. So again, string your bead on your head pin, take your flat nose pliers. You can bend it away from you or bend it towards you. It's going to make a 90-degree angle. You're going to take your round nose pliers. You're going to push this over while they're vertical. And then you're going to turn them horizontally and push over one more time. Again, don't start closing your loop because you want to be able to get it onto your chain. So we're going to do that a few more times with the rest of our beads. Flat nose pliers. Bend it over and grab our round nose pliers. Bend it over. They're vertical. Then I'm going to flip them forward so that they're horizontal and bend it over. Again, don't start wrapping yet because you want to get it on your chain. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these and then I'll come right back. All right, so I went ahead and just did the beginnings of all of our little dangles just so I don't bore you to death with putting the head pins in and getting those started. So what we need to do now is we need to take our ornament out of our cup and put the top piece back on, because we need to kind of see where our chain is going to dangle. So see, look at our ornament, nice and pretty. You can use any color glitter that you want, but I wanted to use the gold for this video. And I actually brought out this magenta color too that I might use later for another ornament, but we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna pop the top back in. So all you do is squeeze that top piece and just put it right back in, pop it right back in. As you can see, a little bit of the glitter got scratched. If you want to wait and let it dry all the way before you put the top back in, you can do so. By the time we actually add our chain and embellish this a little bit, you probably won't even notice. So let's go ahead and take our chain. I put my lobster clasp on because I want to see how long it's going to be after I wrap it around. So I'm taking my chain and my lobster clasp, and I'm just going to connect it and see how long we have. So I'm going to go ahead, lay this down. We've done our measurement. Let me get this cup out of the way. And the length of your chain, if you decide to use a chain, is going to be dependent on the shape of your ornament, the size of your ornament. If we had a rounder ornament, it probably would need to be a little bit longer. I honestly don't know at the moment how long this piece of chain is that I cut. And I unfortunately don't have my ruler with me to be able to measure. But I'm going to take this and I'm just going to clasp it with my lobster clasp, if I can do this and talk at the same time. All right. So it's a little loose, not as tight, but that's okay. And if you don't want to use a lobster clasp, you could probably do a toggle clasp as well. That'd probably be a cute little accent also. But I just did a lobster clasp just to do something that would be quick and easy. But toggle clasp would probably work as well, and I'm sure you could do a lot with that. So let me just tighten this up a little bit. I'm going to move it back one more from where it was. And this is tricky to do. But I think I almost got it because I want it to be fairly tight. All right, that's a little bit tighter. Alrighty, so we see where our chain sits. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding the beads that I had to my chain. So what I'm going to do is, we started our loop, but we didn't close it all the way. So that should be able to help us string it through one of the holes in the chain. If you can see that, I hope you can. I'll bring it up a little bit closer and just pop it over. You may have to use your pliers to open up the loop again, but in this instance I didn't have to. So as you can see, now I have it hanging off of my chain, and now I can go ahead and close that loop. So I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers. I'm going to hold my circle part of my loop, so if you can see, the pin piece is still hanging out. And then I'm going to take my smaller flat nose pliers and then just start working it around just to close my loop to make my dangle. And then we'll go back at the end and cut off whatever excess wire we have from making our loops. All right, so that's just with one. And then we'll go ahead and do our reds, couple more of our reds and greens. I'm going to alternate sides. So I'm going to do a red one up here. Again, you should be able to slide it through the chain, one of the holes in the chains, and pull it over. Again, I'm going to take my flat nose plier, my larger one, and just hold my loop. And you could probably do this if you measure your chain ahead of time and you know how much you need to go around the neck. You could probably do this off of the ornament as well and then attach it on once you're done. making your dangles. As you can see, it'll work either way if you do it before or do it after. Just maybe a little bit easier if you measure your chain before, put on your dangles, and then finish it up. But we're doing it after the fact. But no way is incorrect. You can always try different ways and see what works best for you. All right, so now we have our two dangles on here so far. And I'll just have to move my chain around as we continue to put things on. So we have our two dangles here. And then I'll finish putting on the rest of these. And while I'm doing this, do you guys have any other holiday ornament ideas that you usually do or have done with your family? I would be interested in knowing what other ornament DIY projects you guys have tried. I'm always up for something new because I think one, it's cool just for your own personal holiday decorations, but I've also found that people like them as gifts as well because it's something that they can keep with them, especially if you put up a tree or something every year. You know, it's something that will be a lasting memory year after year. So that's one thing I do like about doing the ornaments for my family members and for my neighbors. All right, so I have my looped on, and this one got a little bit bent out of shape, but we can handle that. Gonna hold it down with my flat nose plier, and I'm going to again wrap my wire around to close the loop. Just be careful so that you don't crack your beads. Try to be a little gentle. All right. And let's do another green. And let's see, I'm trying to alternate which side I put things on so that they fall slightly different angles. So I'm going to do just finding another loop on my chain and putting my bead through. Just pulling slightly to get it to hook on. See, now it's hooked on. Again, grabbing my flat nose pliers. And then just finishing up my wire wrap loop. So again, just loop it around to secure it onto the chain. Secure it on. And again, I will go back later and clean up our ends. But I am liking the way this looks so far. And if you have, the awesome thing about this is that if you have like a tree color scheme, you can always do this to match the color scheme of your tree. I have a rainbow tree. The kids decided they wanted a white tree, so we got a white artificial tree this year, and we have rainbow ornaments. But I've been looking at Pinterest, and I have seen some ideas of things that I would like to do in order to do like a 1 or 2 color theme tree. So we don't have time to do that this year because we're actually going on vacation the week before Christmas. So I don't have time to get my thoughts together and get my ideas in order before we go out of town. But for next year, I have to start my Pinterest board early, get my color schemes and color codes that I want on our tree for next year. I always see like all the store trees and, you know, the trees when you're scrolling through social media, and they just always look so gorgeous. So I'm determined to have a a fabulous tree next year. All right, we got a couple more that we're going to put on, and then I am going to put on the end pieces, and then we will be done. Again, like I said, this is a very quick project that you can do on your own. You can do with children, you can do with grandchildren. If you're having a holiday exchange, or even if you guys do anything at church, you know, community activities or holiday activities, this is something that would be fun and easy to do as well. Actually, now that I say that, I do help with children's church as part of our children's ministry, and I actually never thought that this is something that we could do as part of our children's ministry, our children's church ministry, one of those activities. So I'll have to bring that up next year around this time as we prepare for the holidays. I know last year the children did cookies and cookie decorating, but I think this would be something fun for them to do as well. All right, we have 2 more to put on, and then we're going to put on our last 2 pieces, our snowflake and our Christmas tree, and then we will be finito. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna do, there's one there. Actually, let me see where I may need to fill in some gaps. I think I'll do the green one up here just to make it a little fuller, and I actually didn't need all the beads that I took out. Again, you can make it as full as you want to. You can make it as light as you want to. It's really just up to you. Next time I will try to do all of my measuring first, and then do my chain with the dangles, and then put it on the ornament instead of doing it after the fact, because it's a little tricky trying to move things around, and I'm sure it's a little difficult for you guys to see with this ornament in the background as I'm trying to put things on. So I do apologize for that. This was just an on the whim type of thing. So I appreciate your patience with me as we walk through this. All right, that's our green one. Again, just hold on to it and take another set of flat nose pliers and do our wire wrap loop. Alrighty, let me fix this up, and then that way we can see. So that's our ornament, and what I decided to do is I'm actually I can put this last piece on with a jump ring, but what I would like to do is just show you guys how to finish up a wire wrap loop without putting it on the ornament, just in case you're not familiar with how to do that. So again, we made our little circle earlier. I'm going to grab that with my larger flat nose plier. Okay, I'm going to take, I have a thinner flat nose plier, and I'm going to wrap the wire towards me in a, can't remember if this is counterclockwise or clockwise motion, but towards you, and you just continue to wrap around as the wire begins to layer. And so see, now we have our loop that has a nice little wrap at the top. And usually if it's long enough and you don't need a whole lot, you can go back in and take your wire cutters and cut the excess wire off. So I'll just do that here with this one. I'll just snip that off. And then I can always just, if I still want to use this, I can always attach it on with a jump ring. So I can just grab a jump ring real quick and attach it onto my chain, which I'll do that because I do want this one on my decoration. So I have a jump ring that's already open. Go ahead and stick that on. And then I'm going to go ahead and plop this onto my chain. Uh-oh. Again, like I said, it's a little difficult trying to do it after the fact. Probably would have been easier to do all my embellishing first and then put the chain on. But like I said before, we're going to make it work. All right. Got it on, and I'm going to close my jump ring. Now the question is, do I want to cut this slightly? Or do I want to have, I think this is going to be a little too long to have my snowflake and Christmas tree hanging from. So I think I'm going to cut it slightly and just have it hanging from here. So I'm going to cut maybe about an inch off the bottom. So I'm going to take my wire cutters, and we're going to cut an inch off the bottom. All right. And then all I need is 2 jump rings, which I have handy here. And I'm going to attach my Christmas tree and my snowflake, and then we will be all done. And I know I've seen a lot of folks in the comments mention Wendy's love of seashells and projects she's done with seashells, and this would be an awesome project that you could do if you take a piece of chain and just embellish it with seashells. Like that would be an awesome, like beachy themed ornament. So if you guys try that, I would surely be interested in seeing. I'm sure it would be beautiful, and maybe that's something I'll try also a little later on as well. So I'm just taking the end of my chain where I cut that piece off and put in a jump ring so I can put my snowflake on. We're going to close up this jump ring. And then I'm going to do one more jump ring so that I can put my Christmas tree on. And this is so versatile because you can do all different kinds of themes with this project idea. With the colors, with the glitter, and like I said before, with the seashells. Or really anything else that's kind of your fancy. So like if you have a Christmas tree or decor where you do pet themes or Disney themes or anything like that, you can definitely transition and translate that into this project as well. So now I have my dangle on my ornament. I have my Christmas tree and my snowflake on the bottom. I think I'm going to move one of them up because they're actually covering each other up because they're on the same loop. But that's pretty much it. That's our holiday project, DIY project. Just a DIY ornament embellished with some chain and some beads. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you will give it a try. And again, if you have any other ideas of any ornaments, or any other holiday decor projects that you are working on, I would love to see in the comments. Thank you. And you guys have a happy holiday.